Hey folks, this is the Amazing Vito, and I'm interviewing Andy Fleming, who owns what is it?
It's a micro cultivation cannabis plot
It's a
farm.
cannabis farm.
Yeah, sure.
And if I said marijuana, that'd be bad. It's
No,
the same thing,
marijuana, cannabis, the sticky, whatever you want to call it.
whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
So, how long have you, like, what? How did you get into? Okay, first of all, we're in Canada, right? So there are places on the planet that you would go to jail if you did this, right? There are places in the states. If you were in the United States and you try to, do this, uh,
Well, some states, some
some
states,
states,
some states it's legal.
but in some states, did they legalize it? Like
Oh yeah,
they legalized it, but did they make it that you can grow it?
yeah. Oh, there's California. There's huge, huge, huge thousands of acres of farming.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah.
And anyway, so how did you get into it, Andy?
Boredom. I was I was working at my dead end job and just sitting there. And I thought there's got to be something else I can do out there. And I thought, well, what do you like to do? And I've always loved to grow anything, not just cannabis. And I thought, well, maybe I can do it on a semi-commercial scale, right? So then I delved into it and looked at it. And then I talked to my wife. She thought it was a good idea. I also have a business partner. And we were able to rent the land off a good friend of mine, known him forever, out in the country. And then we put in our application for a micro cultivation license, and we got it. Took about a year and 2 months. It was very expensive and time consuming, and my wife was able to do the application for us because she's really smart. And and yeah, we so last year, 2020 was our first year of planting, and we pulled it off. We executed it right from seed to harvest. So it was a lot of work and a lot of trial and error, and but it went really well, and I had just the best time doing it.
That's good. That's the important thing. So what did you um do you smoke any of it?
It's I don't use it that much. Like if I'm sitting around a campfire or something, having a beer or whatever, I'll have a little bit, but not too crazy. It's like anything. At the end of the day, it is a drug, right? It's like caffeine. It's like well, any drug, nicotine. My point is that I think anything in moderation is okay, and that's the way I approach it. I don't smoke every day. I smoke maybe once, like 2 times a month, just a little bit. That's all I need. Now, there's a lot of people out there that need it for medical reasons, whether it's anxiety, pain management, a multitude of ailments that they have, and it works for them. So I think, I mean, that's amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant. It's a beautiful, it still has a certain stigma attached to it, Cheech and Chong and that kind of thing. But once you understand the plant from a spirituality point of view, it's a healing plant, and it's been around the earth for as long as the earth's been around, and it grows as long as you don't. I'm thinking it better than I'm saying it, Vito, but in its natural state, without pesticides and all this stuff, it's a beautiful, perfect plant that I think we're still exploring it, and maybe it's good for so many ailments. Um, I don't know. I kind of got off topic there, but
No, no, that's fine. I
yeah,
mean, um, yeah, the whole uh, from the earth, coming from the earth.
yeah.
I mean, uh, yeah, it's been around for forever. People forget that. I think a lot of people forget that they called it the healing plant.
The native Canadians,
Yeah,
or I don't know what we even call them anymore, but um, First Nations people, whatever,
that's it. The First Nations.
they've been using it for thousands of years, and they get it. But it's like anything, it's I don't know. you can't abuse it. I don't know. I mean, if I was to smoke marijuana all day just for fun because I'm bored, I don't think I'd be very productive.
No, I dated a girl that
You
was,
know,
I mean, she was amazing in bed, but just, I mean, she would get high. Maybe that's why.
all day, all like
All
20.
the time. She would always like smoke a joint. It used to drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Like I would go, you really need to be high right now? Like
But
every
it's crazy, some people do it all day long and they don't change. It's that is their norm. And if they get through the day by and they're happy, so be it. Fine. I mean, whatever, to each their own, right?
yeah. No, well, as long as
I
they're
would
not
say for me personally, it's not something I can do.
right. But you're there. I mean, how did yeah, or I mean anything can be abused, you
Sure.
know.
Yeah.
Anything can be abused.
Yeah.
Uh uh
But yeah, so just getting back on topic. So uh it's been 2.5, well, October, geez, 18, 19, 20. Geez, it'll be 3 years in October when I first started this venture. And as of right now, our little company hasn't made any money yet. So we're hoping this year we will. And we can
say it again. 30 how long have you been doing?
oh, well, I've been growing a long time, but we started this idea 3 years ago
Okay.
on October 18, I think, when I started the application. And we haven't
Sorry.
haven't
I,
made.
I thought you said 30 years and then you haven't made any money off of it. And I'm like, man, that is dedication.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is like we made nothing this year. And
yeah. It's like it's any small business, right? You don't make any money for the first 3 to 5 years, and there's no difference in the cannabis. It's not a get rich quick venture.
but a lot of people thought it was, right?
Well, at one time it was, but it's not now. And a lot of the larger licensed producers that were around a year and a half ago are no longer around. They got too big, too greedy, and then the price of marijuana has just plummeted. Now there'll always be for high quality product. There'll always be a market for that, I think, and that's what we've got to carve out for our little micro grow is have a niche product, something that nobody else has, if you can, because we're not first to the marketplace. We're not new. So what are we going to do to differentiate ourselves from anybody else? So we got to focus on small batch, high quality product. And that's the goal, but in order to do that, it's super expensive. You need $250,000 worth of equipment to do it properly. So we're at like bit by bit, we're adding, right? So I think by the end of this year, I'll have a really good product that I can, people will enjoy and hopefully make some money at it. That would be nice. But the fact that what I'm growing, it's medicine, and if it helps people in any way, shape, or form, how can that be a bad thing, right?
Right, of course. I mean, yeah. Yeah, of course. And you got to feed yourself. So,
Yeah, well, that's I'm with our little plot. I'm not going to get rich off it, but I didn't get into this to get rich off. This isn't about money. I think as soon as if money is your number one motivator in anything, you'll probably fail. You got to have passion. You got to love what you do. Sounds kind of like a cliche, and it is, but
yeah, you sound like a hockey player after the game. So how'd it go?
yeah,
Yeah, we stuck to the plan and
got to give it 110. But yeah, if money's your number one goal, you probably won't succeed in anything. So, and then that was never my goal doing this. I wanted to be outside. I wanted to be outside with my plants and grow, and I did it. And it's with a lot of help, of course, but it's amazing. I love it.
well, I remember when you showed me your the farm that you had,
Yep.
and it was just this. It was during the summer, and it was a really nice. Like I thought, honestly, I was like paranoid, going,
Yeah,
when are the cops showing up? I
the
mean,
helicopters.
yeah, because you're going. There's a lot of weed here, So, and
Well,
I
here's not that much,
holy cheap shit.
that's 7 pounds vacuum sealed, dried, cured, ready to be enjoyed.
Oh my God, Andy.
That's
How how
important.
how much is that worth that you just held up there?
Well, 10 years ago, it would have been worth a lot. Now, because of let's see here. Oh,
That'd be awesome. A drug dealer and he pulls out a calculator. Hold on, man. Just wait.
I was not good at
Wait.
math.
I got it. Wait. Oh, I forgot the GST. Hold on.
Well, that's 7 pounds. Okay. So
That whole thing was just set. It looked like, I swear to God, that bag looked like 20 pounds.
well, that's just one of the bags, but
That's one.
that's one. Yeah, I got. Well, that's what we do, right? So, but that's I mean, that's probably about $3,000 worth. Where 10 years ago when it was illegal, it would have been worth 25,000.
Whoa.
So it gives you an idea, right? So all the
That
easy
would
money's gone.
that would have been worth 25 G's.
When it was illegal, yeah. You got to figure. I think it was like $3,000 a pound at one time, 2,500 to 3,000 a pound when it's illegal.
Yeah.
It was lucrative then, but I wasn't involved in it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't actually. I haven't been growing that long, but yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
No, sorry about that. I do that to a lot of people that I talk
Have
to.
fun though.
I just go off on something. Anyways.
Oh,
Yeah, that must be. Do you feel like it's the gold rush where people like 3 years ago, remember when they made it legal,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden everybody
Was doing it and wanted to be in.
was doing it. I mean, I a part-time gig. I was for work. I was painting just some houses on just for some money, and the woman she was a dealer.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it was illegal.
It wasn't illegal.
It wasn't legal.
No,
I mean, it was like shady.
Some at your house.
Shady people were showing up.
For real?
Yeah, I was answering the door, and I'm whatever, and it was just like one of those things where you're just going, I just want to paint and just get out of here. It just felt, you know what I mean, when you got some.
Felt dirty.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was just some shady people, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, I think they're good. I mean, Health Canada has done a pretty good job cleaning. I don't know. It's a whole. I mean, we could talk for hours about it, about the black
but
market.
do you think that when they legalized it, that people thought it was going to be like the gold rush of old, where people were everybody said, gotta go. I forget where you're supposed to go. It was a Klondike. You go to whatever the city, I forget whatever, and about 95% of the guys that went there didn't find anything. Right? It was already, the chances of becoming this, finding that giant boulder of gold. That's what they were telling people. There's gold in them hills, know.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw,
Yeah, no, very similar. I mean, and a lot of companies have went under since then because they just bit off more than they can chew.
What do you mean? They grew too much and there wasn't enough demand?
Supply and demand, right? So once basically, if I've got something nobody else has, I can charge whatever I want for that product, right? But all of a sudden people say, oh, there's good money in, X, Y, Z. Let's get into it. Now everybody's into it. Well, guess what? That commodity was worth, $1,000. Now it's worth $200 because we're flush with product. It's just business 101. Same as the cannabis industry. So that goes back to my initial statement about having a niche product that nobody else has. Now, consumers of marijuana, they don't want to generally buy from large producers. They want the small batch, high end. It's kind of like it's very similar to the craft brewery industry. You've got your InBev and your big companies and Molson, of course, and all that, and that's fine. But there's a lot of like higher end consumers that want to buy craft beer because they they know what's in it. They know where it was made. They know who made it. And I can't. The cannabis industry is going to go that route as well, and it already has. I mean, if you were a consumer, Vito, wouldn't you know? Well, I'm going to go down to Andy's farm or go to the Ontario Cannabis store. I'm going to buy his product because I know for a fact he doesn't spray his product with pesticides, right? I mean, it just makes sense.
Right. Yeah. 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 Of course. And then, yeah, your business, so people don't know, it's called Smooth Clover, right?
Yeah, smoothclover.com. You can check out our website, and it gives you this kind of a brief overview of who we are and what we do. A little video down on the end of it. We were the third. We were the only third micro cultivation license issued in Ontario. So that was pretty cool, right? So I was pretty pleased about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and if, and I'll put a link up to all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you,
How do I sell it? How do people buy my
no,
product?
no, that too, but what I don't get is when you make like when you grow the plant,
Yeah.
do they come and take the plant, like you have that bag, do you give it to them?
Who?
I don't know, how does it work, that bag, what do you sell it yourself or?
Right out the back door.
Mhm. Mhm.
No, it's complicated. There's a lot of different licenses you can get. There's nursery license, there's processing license, there's so my license that I have is a cultivation only license. So I can grow it, I can possess it, I can transport it, but I just can't sell it. So now I have to sell my product to another licensed producer that, for example, has a processing license. Okay. So company B says, yeah, Andy, I'll buy your product. I'm going to turn it into oil. I'm going to give you $1 a gram for it. Okay. Okay, fine. Hopefully we'll get our processing license, maybe next year. So I'll be able to take my product, grow it, process it, and be able to get it on the shelves at the Ontario Cannabis store, the weed shops, and everywhere. I don't know, the head shops, I guess, but they're not head shops. They're places that you can buy cannabis, but
Well,
it's totally legal.
that's the thing. It has such a stigma when people. It has a stigma when people go, go to the weed shop, go
Yeah,
to the head shop. People don't know what a head shop was. I remember when
yeah. It's
uh,
not
head shop was just it's a different type of store.
right.
They're going away. Like they're going away now. If you go to a cannabis shop,
Mhm.
it's more of it's very state of the art. It's not some guy with a beard and a tattoo of
Oh,
a snake on his neck.
no, they're very clean and very regulated. And that's I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's very confusing, and we're still in the early stages of it. And things like, I mean, I'd love for somebody to be able to come out to the farm, tour it, and say, you know what? Yeah, I'd like to buy some of that. And I think we'll get there, but we're not there yet. I mean, it's the same as, like let's say you made your own beer, okay, Vito? You can't just sell it out of your garage, right? It has to be tested and made sure that it's safe, and that makes sense. And that's the same as the cannabis industry.
I think people are worried that it's going to be like the El Capone days when they would, moonshine, and guys would, cheat with the liquor and put other stuff in there, to I forget what they would put in there, but a person could get really sick. Some people go blind,
Yeah. Mhm.
and it was just because they knew the demand, in prohibition. There was a time when prohibition was in the States and you weren't allowed to have liquor at all, beer or liquor, but it was like an underground movement where people were
Yep.
making a
Yeah.
fortune, like
Yep.
Al Capone, all those guys. Look those guys up. They were making a fortune.
Yeah.
Uh, but there were other people that were making liquor that was garbage, that was could kill you.
Yeah.
So
I don't know anybody. I don't know
No,
anybody.
but weed could have that where if what you're saying is where you could show people, hey, this is the place. This is, you don't abuse it. This is the, for, if it's for
Yeah, yeah. I get you. Yeah,
anxiety. I
yeah.
mean, doctors are prescribing it,
Mhm.
you know. So it's not like where it has that, that 80s, hey man, you want to get high? It's not really like that. It's more of
There's a
to
med-
calm you down. If instead of taking a sleeping pill, take this oil. It'll help you to sleep, calm down. So there, joint pain or headaches.
Oh God, seizures, controlling
Yeah,
seizures.
yeah. There was a kid I remember seeing, the poor child. This was
Yeah.
about 7 or 8 years ago when it was illegal, and there was a grower. He could have gone to jail for 20 years, but he knew this poor kid was having seizures,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the only thing that was helping him was this oil that
Yeah.
came from weed, from cannabis.
Yeah.
So he was, and he'd give it to the mother, and the mother would be crying because she was so thankful. And poor kid, you know what I mean? And now I'm glad that,
Mhm.
it's legal and the kid could get it, and but it could have helped so many people years ago.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. It's
when they
good.
say it's a gateway drug, I don't think so.
I mean, I've smoked pot since I was 14 or 15 on and off, and I've never tried cocaine or any
Yeah.
other. So,
Like I don't see people just going, you know what,
well, I think if you're inclined, I think if you're inclined as a like somebody who has an addictive personality, maybe I don't know, but as
yeah,
a
but
general rule, I don't understand that.
that addictive personality it would be the same person as a gambler that just can't stop,
Sure,
like no matter what.
alcoholic, whatever.
Yeah, alcoholic, he just can't stop no matter what. You see one beer, if there's a case, you got to drink them all. And that's just some people are like that. So
It's and we haven't even talked about the benefits of CBD oil from
yeah,
it,
tell the benefits of that.
and also, well, it's two different things, right? You've got your cannabis and then you've got your hemp, right? So most of the CBD oil comes from hemp. Um, it's not as good as the CBD oil that can come from marijuana, but you don't want to have too much THC in there. You've got to have a certain amount of THC in your CBD oil to make it really effective, right? So it's like anything, you get what you pay for. I don't know where I'm going with this, but CBD oil is not it's not a snake oil, and we're just scratching the surface on the benefits that I mean, seniors are taking it for joint pain and all kinds of depression, and it's a wonderful drug that you can make it at your house easy. You don't have to spend $50 a bottle, folks. Just YouTube it. It's easy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate. That's really cool. Anything else you want to plug, Andy?
I don't. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, if people have questions about the industry, I mean, I don't consider myself Ed Rosenthal or any one of those or Tommy Chong. But I have learned a lot in the last 3 years. If anybody has any questions, feel free to email me, Andy Fleming 888@gmail.com. You'll put it up. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. And if there's an LP, I don't know if there's somebody else, that wants to partner up with us in some capacity. Hey, I'm always open to listening to new ideas and things like that.
That's really cool. Can you
Yeah,
show me? Can you show me that bag again?
sure. I
Holy,
don't want to open it because it's vacuum sealed, but I'll be putting that, and you can freeze marijuana too for a long time,
really?
years if it's done properly, and it'll not quite as good as fresh, but yeah,
That's incredible, man.
I don't know. I think I'm just used to it now, but yeah.
Oh, that freaks me out. Like I would, if that was in the back of my car, I'd be driving like
Well,
terrified.
you couldn't drive with it in your car.
I would be.
Well, you're only allowed an ounce, but I can transport. I 600 kilograms, I think. You know,
Wow.
yeah. Well, it's because it's my license, right? So
Right, right. All right. Well, that's
I
very cool.
don't fool with it too much.
And again, his business is called Smooth Clover. I'm going to put up a link. if you have any questions, please ask Andy. I'll also put his email, and he'll help you out.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Nothing, Andy. Thank you for coming on and explaining. Because I wanted to talk about this because of just from the benefits of it, from how it's helping people.
Yeah, it does help a lot of people, and it does still have that stigma. It's not for everybody, and that's fine. I mean, it's like, I don't drink, for example. My neighbor drinks. That's his. It works for him, and that's fine. He can social drink, and marijuana is the same thing. It's not for everybody. From a recreational standpoint, if you can do it in moderation, awesome. If you need it for medicinal purposes, and it works for you, get you through a day, excellent. It's a great, look it up, do more research on it. It's a fantastic plant. It's so fun to grow.
Yeah. All right, let me see that bag again.
There you go.
Look at that. I swear to God, I thought it was a shirt.
Yeah, that's 7 pounds of Ghost Train haze.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. All right. Well, thank you so much, Andy. Thank you for your time. Again, it's Smooth Clover. I'll put up a link. Check it out. And if you have any questions, please email Andy and talk to him about it, and he'll help you out.
Keep up the good work. I'm enjoying your interviews and your show.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean,
it's good, man. You always do that to yourself. It's good. It's a good platform for people to, You got.
I just like talking to. I'm very, I see people do a channel about
Videos.
just videos about flat Earth.
Mm.
People that believe the planet is flat, and I'm thinking, are these people high?
Oh, it isn't. It isn't flat.
No, I know it's not flat, but I would love to talk to one. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, but I have this thing where it's just I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that, I just can't stay on one topic. I forget what it's called.
ADD,
being an idiot, I guess. I don't. But I just find things. I think it's important to always ask questions. Don't be scared. I tell that to my son. Never be scared. In school, I was scared to always ask questions.
Yeah.
And, that's just the wrong way to go. So never feel ashamed to ask a question, and the more knowledge you got, the better. Use it.
Knowledge is power, man.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Andy, and I'll talk to you soon. And enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe, people. Be kind, and respect each other.
Yeah, man. You should always end it with a joke, a dad joke, maybe.
I can't, half the stuff I can't say, but
right? What do you get when you get 10,000 deers and 10,000 pigs?
What's that?
What do you get when you have 10,000 deers and 10,000 pigs?
I don't know.
$10,000.
See, if I was smoking that right now, I'd be on the floor. If I smoked that bag, I would have totally.
Hey, I'll purulate it over to your house. It's never too late to get started.
Yeah, and then it's just like, Andy, did you send that over? It's like, yeah, I sent it over. And the purulator guy is just cruising around.
That hot box is
eating Doritos. Listening to Deep Purple. Just
far out, man. All right, brother.
All right, man.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks so much. Be good.
Yeah, you too.